some of the greatest benefits people will have is it breaks them out of their food addiction. So if you go from a water fast into the Goodbye Autoimmune Disease protocol, you're going to think your smoothies are fabulous because they're so much better than water alone, right? Versus going from McDonald's to having smoothies where you might not really feel like you're getting much out of it, right? So if it's something that helps you with a reset, I think that's great. Hey, doctor, does fasting work as a restart? Okay, well, it really depends on what you're trying to do, all right? Those of you who know me and follow me, I don't really recommend fasting. I recommend the opposite of fasting, hyper-nourishment, which is overdosing in nutrition to rapidly reverse disease by enhancing cellular repair and the immune system. So I'm not really down with fasting because you can't hyper-nourish and fast. That being said, there are many people who like to do some kind of fasting, whether it's a juice fast or a water fast, before jumping into a program. And some of the greatest benefits people will have is it breaks them out of their food addiction. So if you go from a water fast into the Goodbye Autoimmune Disease protocol, you're going to think your smoothies are fabulous because they're so much better than water alone, right? Versus going from McDonald's to having smoothies where you might not really feel like you're getting much out of it, right? So if it's something that helps you with a reset, I think that's great. I've had a lot of referrals from people from places where they do things like water fasting, especially for people with autoimmune disease, because what often tends to happen is while they're fasting, they get some remission, but then when they start eating anything, symptoms come back. So it basically is saying that not eating is better than whatever you were eating before, which, ouch, right? But it's not going to give you what you need to recover, because remember, the reason people are having full reversal of disease and maintaining that using my protocol is because they're actually getting cellular repair. So there's a difference between irritating your body by creating more inflammation by eating things that are inflammatory, right? So if you eat animal products, sugars, processed foods, heavy fats and oils, things like that, you're going to drive inflammation in the body, which can create more symptoms. If you take those things away, you're no longer irritating your body, right? So you're going to feel better, right? Most people feel better. That's different than actually repairing the damage from before. So for example, when some people will tell me, as long as I eat plant-based, I don't really have much symptoms, but the moment I eat anything that's got sugar or something, my symptoms come back. I always tell them that means you're not fully healed. You're just in a state where you're not irritated anymore. But minor irritation leads to symptoms. Versus for me, I've been symptom-free with normal labs from lupus for 17 years now. I can eat a vegan donut. I can have a glass of wine, or a beer, right? I can have, Indian food with oil in it, right? And I don't get any lupus symptoms, zero. Okay. Because I've actually fully recovered. So there's a difference. Okay. So even if you decide to use fasting to give yourself a jump start, you still want to do the hyper-nourishment, because that literally gives your cells the building blocks of what your cells need to repair damage, to build the anti-inflammatory immune system. All right. So it's totally fine if you want to do it. Be careful. If you're going to do extended water fasting, please do it medically supervised. I did have a client once who ended up in a coma with bone marrow failure from a water fast. He went into starvation mode and his bone marrow failed. It was horrible, horrible, horrible. So if you're going to do more than like a day or two, and you, especially if you've never done it before, do it in a place where you can get medically supervised to make sure you're safe. But again, there's no need to. You can jump right into hyper-nourishment if you like. There are special cases where I will recommend things like juices and stuff when there's a lot of food sensitivity I'm trying to figure out, or really devastating gut issues. But in general, most folks can start working on increasing those foods and getting to those levels.